Hey guys, Nick Bauer here from the REI Rockstar Vlog series on the Ucity house. I'm not sure what episode we're on, and I'm not sure what vlogs number we're on, but we're done with this house. And boy, I'm so glad that we are. I didn't do a lot of updates over the last 2 months or so because things happen so quickly over here, and honestly, I just wasn't up to doing it. A couple things didn't really go our way, which probably would have been interesting for you guys to follow along with. But a lot of things did go our way, and it's all done now. And it's sold, it's on the market, it's sold, and scheduled to close next week. And so I'm gonna be out of town. This is the last day that I have to be over here while there's still furniture. And I'm like, I gotta get over there and do at least a closure series for the Ucity house. So that's what I'm doing here. I think this house, all in all, turned out fantastic. It looks awesome. As you can see, we got all the staging here, and I'm gonna walk through here real quick, but boy, so many things last minute that happened on this house that turned out really well. The floors turned out fantastic. The kitchen turned out awesome. The removing of the wall and making that just one big living room and kitchen thing turned out really, really well. The outside turned out really well. The bedrooms, the bathroom, everything turned out a little bit better than I expected. You know, we normally do pretty good work, but this house turned out really damn good. I would move into this house and live in it in a heartbeat. It's really cute. We were able to leave old world charm with new world amenities, and that's kind of what we do with our renovations, is try to keep as much of the old as we can to make it have that character, but then have all the new features of living in 2021, like indoor plumbing and HVAC and a dry place to live in. So, but you know, a nice modern kitchen, modern bathroom, you know, people that live in now want to have. So in any event, like I said, I think this house turned out a little bit better than I was thinking, and certainly a lot better than I was thinking a couple months ago when this place was still just trash and there was dust everywhere and things like that. It's always interesting seeing the last few weeks everything come together. The last few weeks of a rehab is always the most challenging one. For sure, all these last minute punch list items have to be done, and it just seems to take forever. It just, oh my gosh, it can be overwhelming because you work, or you have you guys working for 2 or 3 days and you come back over and like, it still looks the same. Well, no, we did this, this, and this, and this. And I'm like, no, I'm not saying you didn't work, but it still looks the same. I want this thing to be done. The punch list items are always the worst. And for us, getting up to the punch list items was also a challenge because of certain things, permit-wise, you know, as you guys have watched the other parts of the series. We didn't really get started on this thing until maybe the first part of March. We finished the renovation, put on the market, I think sometime early September. So March, April, May, June, July, August, September. It was really, from start to finish, a 6-month renovation, but it took us about 5 months to get started. And we had all kinds of delays. And then even when we did get started, we had all kinds of delays as well. So we probably could have done a much better job of getting this thing started. We certainly could have done a better job of getting it started, and probably could have done a better job finishing it sooner. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. We got a house on the market, sold, and got a good price, and I think we have a dynamite product here. So we'll walk around here into the kitchen and show you the living room, or the dining room, excuse me, and into the little study here, which is an awesome little house, awesome little room to either have a home office or set it up as a little playroom, or set it up as a little place to read a book, drink a glass of wine, and then obviously the kitchen, which I think turned out really great. Opening up this wall, it makes it look super open in here, and turned out really well. Staging really helps with this house for sure. Kind of figure out where I'm gonna put the, you know, my couch or my TV, and even small little things like putting a chocolate cabinet right there to match the chocolate risers for the stairs. Small little touches like that really made this house stand out. So then moving upstairs. Oh, real quick before I do, I think the floors turned out awesome. Real hardwood floors that we installed. These are pre-finished hardwood floors, and they're the shorts, so the installers don't like them too much, but they turned out really good. All right, then up here in the second floor, this is one of the bedrooms. Of course, we did new windows, and the closets here are nice. They've got a light. Got quasi walk-in. Big closets for an older home for sure. And turn some lights on here. I think the master turned out fantastic. We were able to get second floor laundry up here, which is great. Again, another walk-in closet for the master with lighting. Turned out really good. But this looks cozy. Take a nap in here or go to bed. Pretty cool, pretty cool. Bathroom, I like the floor. I like the tile. Nice shower. New vanity. Ends up being pretty good. All right, then down here in the basement, we're able to keep this feature. So if anyone's looking for a house with a dungeon, this is a working feature. And I cleaned it up and painted it real nice. Boom. Put a lock on that and you ain't getting out. So get your mind out of the gutter. But if you don't like your neighbor because he borrowed your tools, didn't give them back, there's a solution for that. The basement, we just ripped everything out that was here, painted all the walls, installed new windows, obviously all new plumbing and all new electric, HVAC, hot water heater, and painted everything so that it's walk down in your socks. Looks pretty good. We did include washer and dryer hookups down here in case you want to have washer and dryer down here and upstairs. But throughout this new panel and everything, I saw how they wired up the house. I realized something about myself. I don't know anything about how to make that happen. Honestly, there's no way I could figure that out. I watched the guy doing it. I watched how he ran the wires. People think, oh, he just put a new panel up and it cost, $1,500 or $2,000 to make all that happen. Yeah, that's what I always thought about it. But then when I actually watched the guy do it, I'm like, man, there's just no way I could do that. I might be able to funnel my way through. Certainly not a way with plumbing to pass code, but I could probably get water up to where it needs to go. And I could probably rewire an outlet or a switch or something like that. Ooh, I could not do a panel. I could not do that. So yeah, anyway, I took for granted things like that in the renovation process. That I'm not taking for granted anymore, because that's definitely a skill. I probably couldn't install HVAC. I wouldn't know where to begin how to size it, to install it. Certainly carrying it into the house, whew, those things are heavy. But I'm gonna go back upstairs and talk about a couple other challenges that we have with this house. So we'll see you in a bit. Okay, so you saw the upstairs, you saw the first floor, you saw the basement. Probably in the beginning you saw the photos of the outside. This house turned out really good. But I want to talk about a couple things here that we knew from the beginning was going to be an issue. But we found some creative solutions for it. So one is, this is a three bedroom, oh, excuse me, this is a 2-bedroom, 1 bath. So typically, you don't want to renovate and put this much work into a 2-bedroom house. Unless you get it for a stupid small price. The buyers there's less buyers that want to buy a 2-bedroom house, obviously, than a 3-bedroom house. So it's not the ideal project. However, it has this bonus back room that we staged as an office. And so that was a big deal is can we make that a bedroom, and can we put a bathroom on the first floor? The answer was no to both of them. So square footage wise, and what this house has to offer is just like a 3-bedroom house, because in reality what's going to happen is if this was a 3-bedroom house, the buyer who's going to buy this is going to make one of the bedrooms into a home office, because certainly that's what people are doing more than likely nowadays, is working from home. So in that sense, does it need to be called a bedroom? No, right? So we still were able to push price and appeal to a buyer of a 3-bedroom house because we have that extra room back there. And if it's not going to be a home office, it's going to be a nursery or a playroom for kiddos or something like that, right? So we just made sure to stage it as an office so people can see that as, yeah, it's 2 bedrooms, but you also have a third space that's kind of like a bedroom. You could put a day bed in there, have your office there, and if you have guests over, they could spend the night there, relatives in from out of town or something like that. So at least this house has that going for it, that we had a third room that could be a bedroom, office, playroom, nursery, something like that. So ultimately that's why we did this project, because it wasn't just a 2-bedroom house. We tried and we couldn't solve the bathroom issue. We just couldn't figure out a way without disrupting the floor plan on the first floor too much by putting an extra bathroom in. But we compensated by putting 2nd floor laundry in, which cost us a little bit more than we thought it was, but that does give a feature that a modern buyer would like to have. And I know in my own house, I would love to have laundry on the 2nd floor where we live and where all of our clothes are and where we get dressed and where we fold laundry and do all that kind of stuff. Why do we go down to the basement and bring all the dirty stuff down there, do all our laundry, and then bring it back upstairs? Well, I'll tell you why, because we don't have 2nd floor laundry. And while we have a huge 2nd floor in our house, we just don't have a spot to really designate for 2nd floor laundry without disrupting a bunch of stuff, and we're still young enough that we can take it up and down the steps. But it is a huge, nice convenience to have up there. So while we didn't have a 2nd bathroom, we do have that convenience. We have a lot of other stuff going for this house. So that was a challenge. Honestly, another challenge that we had was it's the stupidest challenge, and it was the dumbest challenge, and I was in charge of this, and I will admit that I made the wrong decision and I paid for it. The wainscoting underneath the porch, I'll get a good shot of it. Maybe you can see it here through the window. Actually, let me just go outside here real quick. If you ever see me, you gotta tell me how amazing this turned out. See that? Hey, looks nice, right? Looks like a porch. Looks like a painted porch. Well, it is a painted porch. And if you remember from the old pictures, or if you ever paid attention to it, which I never did, it was brown. And it was in really good shape. Like, surprisingly, for as old as this house is, I didn't think we were gonna even touch it. It was stained brown, it was in really good condition, and there was 1 or 2 boards that we had to replace because they weren't in good condition. So we replaced those 2 boards, and we're like, oh, well, we have 2 options. We can either just stain those 2 boards to match it. It won't match perfect, but we can get pretty close. Or we can paint it white. What did I do? What's the decision that was made? Well, obviously, we painted it white. And what you're looking at there is I did that, okay? I made the decision with the help of coercement from Randy, but I'm like, okay, yeah, we'll do it. And I was in charge of painting it because we were doing all this other stuff. And I'm like, you know what? I'll paint it. I'll throw some painting pants on and come over here and get that knocked out. 2 or 3 coats will be fine. First stroke of the primer, and I realized, oh, it's gonna be more than two or 3 coats because it just soaked it up, and it's like I didn't even paint it at all. That you're looking at there is probably 3 or 4 coats of primer and, honest to God, about 7 or 8 coats of paint. And that stuff is not the easiest to cut in. And on top of that, it didn't even look all that good once I was getting done, because painting something white like that, you saw all the cracks. So Randy got up there, because I'm not good with caulk. You trust me, you do not want to see me doing caulk. But Randy got up there and caulked all the lines that were visible, and then I did one final coat on it, and it looks awesome now, but you would never notice how much work it was to put that on there. And the painters had already left. That's why it's like, well, all the other tradesmen that were here, they weren't painters. And instead of trying to get a painter to come over and do it, which is just a small porch and you paint, you think, oh, it'd take a day or two. No, I was over here at least 10 different times doing that. That was absolutely the wrong decision. It was absolutely my stupidness thinking, oh, it's just gonna take a little bit. I thought I could do 2 or 3 coats in a day. And it was just, ultimately it was the right decision. It looks awesome, but don't ever hire me to do painting, okay? I'm not a good painter. It turned out pretty good, but it took me way too long to do it. And so stupid small things like that I should have known better. To either hire someone to do it that knows what they're doing, they could have got it done. And yeah, it would have cost a little bit, but they would have gotten it done much quicker. And instead, I spent all that time doing it, and arguably it doesn't look that much better than if the painter had just done it. So there's probably 3 or 4 other things that happen like that on this house that are probably not consequential, but I was in charge of that one. And if you see me in person sometime soon, even if it's 5 years in the future from this date in late August 2021, slap me on the back and say, man, that porch looks great. Because it'd be kind of funny, but yeah, it did turn out pretty good. It did turn out pretty good. So I need to have that compliment. Anyway, so the challenges that we had, again, with the 3-bedroom, 1 bath, I think we beat those pretty well, and we still was able to push price. Small little various challenges with things like the porch and stuff like that. But ultimately, lessons learned on this house is get your permits early and often. And we knew that going in, but we bought it about end of October, somewhere in November of last year, and try to get the architectural drawings so that we get them submitted by Christmas, so that we get them back by Christmas, so that we can get all the permits so we can start January 1st. And we didn't get started until March 1st, really. And that's really 4 or 5 months of downtime that we had holding costs and couldn't really get anything done. Yeah, we demoed stuff and everything, but that's too long. Lesson learned for sure. We knew better, and we know better, and we do better, but on this particular one, it just kind of got away from us. And sometimes projects happen like that. Once the construction started, we had the normal, what do we do here, that kind of stuff. I mean, all in all, it was kind of normal. We were already under the gun time-wise and a little bit stressed about this project, so it seemed a little bit exasperated. But it still worked out, and in the end of the day, we did a lot of construction here and did it in about 5 or 6 months. So still did a pretty good job of, once we got started, even with delays of all of our subs being super busy and some of our subs getting COVID, and we had to scramble and try to get a new plumber in and all that kind of stuff. So we did a pretty good job with it, and at the end of the day, the end product turned out awesome. Very, very, very cool house. Sold very, very quickly, multiple offers, and yeah, it's a renovation that I'm proud of. We took a really crappy house, tore it apart, started from scratch, put it all back together, and now a new buyer has about as maintenance-free home as they're gonna have. It's basically a brand new house. Everything in here is new, from plumbing, electric, all the lighting, all the kitchen, the bathroom, flooring, all the mechanicals. This is basically a new house, from roof to windows and everything else. So it's basically a new house with old world charm, which is the type of rehabs that I like to do. They're harder and they're challenging and they take long, and sometimes they're not as profitable as, you know, a house that was built 30 years ago. And those are fun too. I like those for sure. But it is kind of fun to still retain that old world charm and have, you know, craftsman style trim and just the old, you know, looks like a 100-year-old home with new features or with new amenities. So in any event, this was the last day that I had with furniture still in the house. This thing closes next week. Super excited to not have this one on the books anymore. It's always nice when you get a good price for a house and you can exit the property and know that you did really good work on it and the new buyer's super excited about it. But I'm not gonna miss coming over here. I'm glad that it's sold. I'm glad that it's done. Like I said, this is the last day that I was gonna be over here because I'm gonna be out of town. First part of next week, and they're taking the furniture out first part of next week, so I wanted to get over here and get that done. But yeah, this has been a learning experience, maybe relearning a lot of things that I already knew, but hey, that's life, isn't it? And again, sorry for not doing more updates here over the past couple months. Things were going so crazy and so fast, and life kind of got in the way. And honestly, I was hanging out with my kiddos and doing stuff. I didn't get over here and do the updates. It would have maybe been interesting, but at least I'm over here now showing you the finished project. So, what do you think? You did a pretty good job. Leave a comment in the section below. If you want to see more projects like this, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And whatever, the bell notification if they have one of those things too. But yeah, this has been the final installment of the REI Rockstar vlog series, or podcast vlog series for the Ucity house. Again, I don't know what episode we're on or what number we're on, but this is the final one. So, hopefully the next one's a little bit smoother. Nick signing off. We'll see you later. Take care, and good luck on your real estate projects.